My name is Stas Zhirkov and I'm from Kyiv, from Ukraine. I'm artistic director of Left Bank Theatre and theatre director. I think the theatre is like, it's this moment of.
What do you
I don't
mean?
know if you understand.
Okay.
What is it?
I think I understand, but how would you, if you had to use words?
I can say it in Ukrainian, but in English it's more hardly, because the theatre is a conflict, of course. The conflict of two forces which are trying to be better. So I think the theatre is this moment.
Okay, so if I go to the theater, how does that benefit me?
Because it's something from your life too. You must understand that it happens now in this moment with you.
Okay. No, I understand that theater is a conflict of ideas.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So, but that's for, okay. And then I go and I see a conflict of ideas. How does that affect me?
Because you are on one of these sides, of course. Because you I don't know, you like ice cream or you don't like ice cream. You can't say like, oh, I don't know ice cream. What is it? So of course you like or don't like ice cream, or I don't know, sweets, or I don't know, tomatoes or something like this.
Okay, but then okay, so then I go. Let's say I hate tomatoes, and I go and I see a play that is how everyone should love tomatoes.
No. The theater is always about question. It's not about answer. So it's always two sides which are decided what is better, and in a final it's good when it's the question continues, because we haven't got answers, we are not the god. So
okay, so theater gives you questions.
of course it must be like this. Good theater always must give you the questions, and badly theater answers. So it's, I think, my decision about theater and my thoughts about good and bad theater.
So good theater gives you questions.
Of course.
Okay. So then if we move this from the theater and into creativity, which I think is very closely connected.
Yeah,
if it's good theater. So I guess that creativity also then should give you questions.
Of course. So I think even you saw like this TED, these lections in a TED, and they always starts from the questions. So how you think? So I think it's important that this the question is, I want to know what is the water. So, and I try to be like, I have a son. He is 7 years old now, and he always have questions. That's why he is better and better every day. So that's why I think the mostly not good moment in a people's life is the moment when you start to grow, you start to grow, because you always must be a child. Always why. So that's why I think in a theater it's the same. Why I must do it, why you must do it, and so on and so on. So I think it's a mostly question of creativity to make a questions.
Let's assume then that our theater is like an expert at asking questions.
Of course, I think the theater is the place of asking humanity. It's maybe the good slogan for some theaters. I hope.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love it. So theater is where humanity asks questions.
Of course, yeah.
Yes. So what can we, the rest of society, learn about asking questions?
How to work with it, I think. How to be with it. How not to be aggressive with some questions. How to... Because, of course, if I say that theater don't give you an answers and only the questions, but, okay, you can go to the stage and say, so, the performance is about what is the. But no, we must to have this question only in a final. So all the performance we must to try and understand what is the question. That's why I think the moment for humanity or for the audience who come is how to make a good questions. If you want to have it, because I don't like the tall peoples. Why I don't like these people, and it's my process. I think the mostly hardest moment is that the theater and the workers of this theater and me, of course, can't thinking about it. Because if you started to think that, yeah, of course, we're the place which changing people, it will be the end. So the mostly hardest moment is that you always must be with a question to yourself, of course, too. What I'm doing, why I'm doing this, is it good, is it bad? And this is the mostly hardest question. I always must be like I'm the best man. And the secondly, I must be with my dialogue with myself, I always must to say no. Maybe you are the worst. So, and this is balance, I think, of the theater makers. When something of this it's a good example. Ukrainian national theaters. Of course, they are not the best, but they are thinking that we're national theater. Of course, we're the best. No, my darling. Every day is a new day for you. So that's why every day you must have a new decisions, a new questions, a new way to say I'm the best. I think the message is that the theater is to ask the question.
And what should we do?
To ask the question, of course.